Hey guys, you've joined us live at Moneycontrol. I'm Manisha Gupta, and the focus today is on gold prices, which actually haven't gone anywhere since the beginning of 2024. We started the year at around above $2,000 an ounce, and that's exactly how we are trading at. So when you look at this current year, we've been holding that range of 2,000 on the lower side to 2,045 or 50 on the higher side. How is the demand in the Indian markets? What are the factors that we have to watch out for globally and in India for gold is exactly what we will be discussing right now with Colin Shah of Kama Jewelry. Colin, hi, thank you for joining us as always. First of all, on the prices itself, and while there's a geopolitical concern going on, we also are looking at markets, looking at strong buying, which we've seen come in via the global central banks as well. But all of that hasn't really taken the gold prices to newer highs as the street was believing.
Yeah, Manisha. So the higher prices haven't happened, and we all since Diwali last year did expect prices to, go up by nearly 10% in the next 10 to 12 months. But we are not seeing that trend for all the same reasons that you're there in November, December. It's the Israel-Hamas war. It's the Fed not announcing the decrease in interest rates. So, though we were at 2060 in December, we are at 2026, and like you correctly said, we are range bound between 2000 and 2040. So we do feel that unless something does happen globally in terms of positive or negative sentiment, there's no reason for gold to, go break out of this range. So that's what it looks like right now.
But would you say it's a big positive that gold hasn't broken below $2,000 per ounce, or do you think that is inevitable? We might see those levels go away.
No, something. So we haven't seen it go below 2000 because of the strong buying.
Okay.
Strong buying which has been happening across the world, including China, in spite of their downturn and everything that we hear. One thing the consumer over there is buying is gold. And a lot of retail industry, especially the large retailers over there, if you see their counters compared to what they looked like, say, 2-3 years back, it's 80-90% of what they're selling is, yellow metal. So China is doing well on gold. India continues to be strong in demand. Central banks globally are buying. So having said that, it doesn't look, otherwise it would have definitely dropped below 2000. But because of all the strong demand we're seeing, it stayed in these levels. And if there's some positive news, there's no reason why we couldn't be again in a bull run.
For the last couple of months, Colin, all we've been talking about, or majorly when it comes to gold, has been the record number of weddings that India perhaps is seeing, going through right now as well. Has on-ground demand taken off because of these current prices stabilizing?
It has. There are two things which have happened in India. One is, of course, 30 lakh weddings. So, there's definitely a lot of demand. But in India, there are two things. Whenever the consumer is not so certain about the direction of gold, is a lot of exchanges also happening. So in Jan and this last weekend of Feb also, what we are seeing across the country is besides say buying, I would say, is as normal what it was last year. There's no real growth, but the exchange has gone up tremendously. So in terms of business being transacted on the counter, it's definitely growth for our retailers pan India, but a lot of exchange and not necessarily buying of new gold.
Colin, when it comes to Indian buying itself, we do understand that it still is 88 to 85% is bridal buying there. What is your sense on the investment buying, bars and coins buying? When you look at the month of January, is it giving away any trends at all?
No, not really. Okay. And because of the weddings, the investment buying is not as strong as what we thought it would be. The stronger trend we are seeing is on the wedding and jewelry buying. What we're also seeing definitely happening is, so all these years, and interestingly, for our industry, everyday wear was not really a plain gold play, so as to say. But we are seeing a larger and larger conversion even happening on the 10 to 30,000, 40,000 price points towards everyday wear plain gold jewelry. So that's picked up too. So besides the wedding buying, we also have now a new category which has come up where a lot of youngsters pan India are buying plain gold jewelry in those price points, which traditionally used to be diamond jewelry.
Budget did not talk about gold, touch gold at all. Was that a disappointment?
No, something in our industry now, it's a good thing also if it's not touched. Because we've been trying for duty reduction, on your program since God knows how many years. And, while reduction was always going to be difficult, in a vote on account budget, the fact that it did not go up also is a sigh of relief for our industry.
Colin, if I can put you in a corner and ask you on what is the kind of jewelry sales that you're expecting for this year now, even if you want to go quarter on quarter basis. Also, what's your sense on gold prices, a slightly longer period time range?
See, again, like we discussed, if there is no real big global event, okay, now even the US election can go two ways, whether there's Mr. Trump coming in or Mr. Biden. So I think that's going to be like one big event of the year. Besides that, if any of these wars come to some kind of end, maybe not what you see on the ground, but some kind of, where the rampant destruction we are seeing stops. So if those happen, then gold can be in a bull run, can be. And we may see come Diwali a 10-15% higher level than where we are today. If things continue as they are and uncertainty and with the Fed not really reducing interest rates or very minor, then maybe we are at this, 2000, 2050 levels. At any point, we are not seeing it go below 2000 because there is demand globally. So there is consumption happening, and so we don't see it going below that. In India, coming to, just demand for the whole year, I think what we're definitely going to see a big demand on is, all the retailers, the top 10, 20 retailers, and even the 20 to 100 after that have expansion plans. So there's a lot of companies which have already gotten listed, and then there are many who are going to get listed.
Okay.
And if you just count the number of retail stores which are going to come up in India in the next 1, 2, 3 years, we're looking at nearly 2 to 3,000 new retail stores of jewelry coming across pan India. Typically, all of them are between 3 and 5,000 square feet. They'll have inventory ranging from 25 crores to 100 crores. So there's going to be a lot of gold buying just to for the new stores. And then you'll have some kind of growth in the stores which are already there. Considering there are 1 lakh retailers on who get hallmarking done, more than all, I guess the number of doors are going to increase, and we'll see only a larger consumption happening pan India. So I think the same store sales will grow between 10 and 15%. And then you have the thousands of new stores. So every year I think we're going to add 1,000 doors over the next 3 years. That will add to the overall demands of gems and jewelry.
Oh, well, absolutely. I do understand that there are big plans within the jewelry industry to start expanding in next couple of years. I'll wind down this conversation with one final question, Colin, and that is, with your plans itself, how do you see yourself expanding in 2024? What's your vision?
For ourselves, we're definitely focusing on the fast fashion, everyday wear segment of the jewelry. So our business has two parts. We're a natural diamond jewelry manufacturer, and we also produce lab-grown diamond jewelry. We see both the segments growing quite nicely. We see the export side, the American business being more stable than what it was last year. We saw a spike after the pandemic, then last year was a dip, and this year we see some kind of stability. We do see in the second half of the year, for some reason, the Europe market coming back a little bit strongly. Gulf continues to be strong. And in India, with all the massive plans that most of our customers have, on the chain store front and the large independents, we see ourselves in a good place, especially when it comes to the fast fashion category.
All right. So that's the segment to watch out for. Colin, as always, thank you so much for joining us. And that's all the time that we have on this segment for you.